Hi, my name is Runacres. I'm from the Naissance Sword Club, and as some of you may know, we've been taking a number of videos to provide people with hopefully some ideas for home training whilst a number of us are stuck in isolation. So Sam's been doing a lot of footwork on the single sword. I'm going to look at sword and dagger. And the first thing I just want to say is a caveat, which should really go without saying, but just to be clear, all of us have different styles. So please don't think that mine is definitive in any way. This is just a suggestion as to how to move. Okay, so the last video I did, I was really talking about making sure you maintain form. So we can look at some lunges for this, and in particular, what I'd like you to bear in mind is if you're doing a series of 10 lunges, it is really important to shuffle your feet in between to readjust your posture. And the reason why is, we can go on, I'm trying not to stab anything in the room, but if I'm lunging, returning back here, lunging, returning back here, and my knee's going off and I'm getting sloppy like that, you need to constantly reset yourself. Otherwise it's going to be a waste. And the other thing is, much like any form of training, weight training or similar, you should really maintain form throughout. So it's good to do things at speed. It's a good cardio exercise, very mini cardio exercise. But if your form is deteriorating, you are training your body the wrong way. So if I'm coming in, I'm going to do a lunge in what we might call a second or knuckles up. Here, I need to return, just make sure my posture's fine, and then come back. A lot of this is probably quite obvious for many of you, but just bear it in mind. So what I suggest we do is go through what we call a cone. So we can do this with or without swords. So this will be my second, so I'll be attacking on the outside, hopefully finding their sword with my sword and just covering beneath with my dagger. So I'm turning my hips around, you can see my rear heel comes up like so, and then returning into form, and I'm keeping my sword out. Now, you shouldn't always keep your sword out when you're fencing, because that might allow your opponent to find it. But what I don't want you to do is this, drop, come back again, and then come back into posture and do this. Unless you can retreat well, there's not going to be much point. If you make a mess of your initial lunge and they basically parry you and they can hit you just because you've trained your body to collapse afterwards, you're going to be in trouble. So about 10 of these maybe, coming in, just making sure you're right, and then just going back again 10 times in a reasonable flow. You are going to make mistakes. I'm sure I've made a couple of mistakes whilst demonstrating this. So moving around, I would suggest from here, you can go into what we might call a first, and that's if I change direction here, that's where I turn my hand upwards like so. And again, bring your hand right the way around like this and back again. Right the way around like this and back again. And remember, just come back around here, allow the hips to rotate. And then you can do a third, which is just straight up, and again, like so. Okay, a couple like this, and then finally, let's go for fourth. And this is where I'm turning my hand more around here. When we do this, there's several ways to do this. I can lunge and bring my dagger forwards. If I want to bring my dagger forwards, I'm going to have to let my hip rotate round. The reason being is, in order to do this, my chest needs to go square. If I want to go for a longer lunge, I either want to keep my dagger by my face, or do what we see in some sources, throw the arm back and then recover. So again, that gives you about 4 lunges, perhaps 10 lunges a piece to work with from home. And the main message I want to make is maintain your form throughout. I hope that's of use, and I hope everyone's keeping safe. Cheers.